Welcome to FRC Media News for Thursday, February 2nd, 2017. I'm Keith Tebow. This week we have more details on the city's marketing initiative. We look at the state of the business climate here in Fall River, and we get an update on the legislature's plans to implement the recreational marijuana initiative. But it is Groundhog Day. Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow, but someone who casts a wide shadow across the media landscape here in Fall River. Will Richmond, the digital news editor at the Herald News, is joining us for our news headlines of the week. How are you, Will?
I'm good, Keith. How you doing?
You like that introduction? Different, right? Something different this week?
That may be the first time I've ever been let in with a Punxsutawney Phil comparison.
There you go.
I'll take it.
There's always a first, right? All right, let's get right into it, Will. Yesterday, Mayor Jazio Correa gave us some more details on the city's marketing campaign. We had known for quite a while that the slogan was going to be "Make It Here" in Fall River, but yesterday the mayor unveiled a logo, a video, and other components of the campaign. What I want to do before we get into the discussion, Will, is to lead in with a couple of sound bites from the event yesterday. City Councilor Steve Long opened the event and said that he was there not only to represent the mayor, the ad hoc marketing committee working on the project, and the community, but his own family as well.
You know, I stand here tonight not only to represent the citizens of Fall River and the committee, but I represent 8 generations of my family living in this city. 8 generations. That's not only the families that came before me, but my children live here, educated here. My children's children are here, going to school here. So not only has my family made it here, but we're also making it here, and hopefully we'll be making it here long time into the future.
The mayor followed that up by announcing the 2 main goals of the marketing plan.
It really was to inform the outside community, number one, of all the great things that Fall River has to offer. The second goal, which was the really more important goal to me, was to uplift ourselves, to really get out of this rut that Fall River had been in terms of its own self-image, to really be proud of what Fall River has to offer, to pay homage to the old slogan of "We'll Try," because it does have a great history, but also to look to the future and know that we're going to succeed. And we're going to succeed by coming together and exploring all the wonderful parts of our community. And that's really what this next logo, slogan, and video had to accomplish. It had to break the mold. It had to break the ideas that people had about what Fall River is and what Fall River is not, right? Too often we had heard what Fall River is, or that it's this place and somewhere in the southeastern part of Massachusetts and had nothing to offer the state. That's not true.
Now, the mayor mentioned, you just saw the logo that was unveiled yesterday, but there was also a video that was unveiled as well that will be the basis of promoting the city of Fall River to businesses and tourism efforts. Let's take a look at that.
The emphasis is on the word community.
That prides itself on making things.
It's the culture of Portugal and the culture of Fall River.
History, hard work, manufacturing.
We're making it and we're moving it forward.
It's a great place to live, work, and create.
If you think you know Fall River, think again. Fall River isn't a place you pass through. It's a destination. Fall River isn't on the mend. It's on the rise. Fall River isn't about accepting your fate. It's about creating your destiny. We can revive pride and instill positivity. We can make room for this rise. We can make it here.
All right, back now with Will Richmond. Will, what has been the reaction from what you're hearing about the official unveiling of the video and the logo and this whole process that the mayor unveiled yesterday?
Sure. From the the initial reaction we've seen to the story, our story online, it has tended to probably shift a little more towards the negative aspect. But then again, you got to take that with a grain of salt. Most people who do comment, are those who are more focused on the negative side of stories. So there has been some positive reactions. Some saying, it's worth a shot. Let's give this a try. To people who fully like the concept. So, I think there's something to build off of here, and people are interested to see where this will go next and how it will actually be used in concept and practice rather than just, a press conference announcement type of thing.
And I know critics of the mayor will always be critical of the mayor or even the person who happens to be on the 6th floor of Government Center. But this is something that some people will say that the city needed to do, that it was at least giving the mayor an A for effort in terms of trying to spur interest in the city of Fall River. And I think there are more people than not, I know some people that I've spoken to are willing to, as you say, let's give it a chance, let's see what happens. The expenditure of upwards of $100,000 for this campaign is, leaves some people with a sour taste in their mouth. I get that. But some people are still willing to give it a shot. Something else, I don't know if it was reported yesterday, but the mayor is still working on the formation of this nonprofit tourism council. Was there any headway into that mentioned yesterday?
Yeah, so he did announce that the council was being formed. He did mention a couple of names, including Joanne Sprague from the Children's Museum and some others. He mentioned that I believe it's going to be a 5-member board. There's still 2 more seats to be filled out. So they are moving forward with that. And, this group, he noted that they're part of the formation of the group is that they have strong fundraising capabilities. He sounded optimistic about holding an event in the summer, as he had previously mentioned. So, they're starting to plot out those next steps as well, but, nothing fully firmed out yet at this point. I think they're waiting for that committee to get fully formed and go from there.
All right, so logo, video in the can, and now we'll wait to see what else is going to be happening in terms of the promoting of the city of Fall River as we move forward. All right, let's move into now the State of the Business breakfast address that was held this week at McGovern's Restaurant in the far south end of the city of Fall River. The Fall River area, now Bristol County Chamber of Commerce, sponsoring the event. And President Rob Mellion was at the podium this week talking about the economic and aesthetic problems of Fall River in the past.
A lot has changed when you compare and contrast the Fall River area, the Fall River metro region from 2008, 2009 to today. A lot has changed, particularly amongst all of us. Those of us who experienced it know exactly what I'm talking about here. You go back into, now this shows my age and shows why I have the gray hair, you go into your Mr. Peabody Wayback Machine and you go to 2009 and you remember you had rusted out bridges all along the waterfront with the 79 spaghetti ramp system. The Genzyme building was vacant. The city council wanted to place a strip club zone in the heart of the industrial park. I see Todd Blount here from Blount Fine Foods. That was a big fight, and it was a serious fight. You remember going down 79 and all the toilet seats that were going along 79? That was what you saw when you entered into Fall River. Thank God that's all gone.
And Will, Rob Mellion there, as the president of the chamber, they always try to find good of what's happening in the city of Fall River in terms of the business climate. Unemployment is down. There's a lot of positive direction in the city. But, in the 7th iteration of this state of the business, I guess it is part of the chamber's mission to not only promote business, but also look at the good as what's happened. And, Rob Mellion brought out quite a bit of those in his address.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of positives, especially on the business development front, that can be pointed at. Not caught in that clip, but I believe he probably mentioned it at the breakfast as well. I know he brought it up at the launch the other night as well for the marketing campaign. But the development and operation of Amazon, the industrial park is operating at 90% capacity. We've got South Coast Marketplace, which is being constructed right before our eyes down in the south end as well. So there's a lot happening on the development sense of business as well. Things are progressing there. And, as you mentioned, unemployment is down. So a lot of things are pointing up. Of course, there's still a lot of things that can be improved. The downtown atmosphere, the Flint area would probably like to have a little more attention on their end of the business development. But that's not to say that, we're in a giant rut here or anything. Things are happening here in Fall River in the business sense.
And that's always good to see. And again, there are, as you mentioned, there are plenty of problems in any city and town across our country. But it's good to hear that it appears things are moving forward, both on the marketing side of the city and now the business side as well. All right, Will, what's coming up at the Herald News over the next few days?
New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. We'll have a look at we'll have a look at how some local businesses were gearing up to get ready for Super Sunday. How large of the food items are in need on that day as well, and hopefully on Monday we'll have a big story in the paper about how the Patriots won another Super Bowl.
That would be nice. All right, Will, we'll talk to you again next week. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Keith, and go Pats.
Just a reminder, you can find out more information on yesterday's marketing event at City Hall and also the State of Business Breakfast at our website, frcmedianews.org. We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Fall River Career Center. Field Risk Specialist. DataScan of Fall River is looking for a full-time field risk specialist to visit wholesale and retail automobile dealers to perform inventory audits. Must have strong interpersonal and organizational skills and be able to work independently. Job number 8450589. Department Manager. McDonald's, located at 834 Brayton Avenue, is seeking a full-time department manager responsible to lead shifts and departments, making sure customers receive a fast, accurate, and friendly experience at every visit. Other responsibilities include managing assigned training, food safety, and inventory management systems. Job number 8447729. Payroll and Accounts Payable Clerk. Medeiros and Santos, LLP, located at 657 Pleasant Street in Fall River, is seeking a full-time payroll and accounts payable clerk to prepare year-end quarterly reports, pay invoices, and produce checks to various clients and vendors, and make payments for federal and state taxes on a weekly basis. Must have excellent communication skills and computer skills with knowledge of QuickBooks, Excel, and Microsoft Word. Job number 8443472. Catholic Memorial Home, located at 2446 Highland Avenue in Fall River, is looking to fulfill the following positions. Certified Nurse Assistant, job number 8445931. Licensed Practical Nurse, job number 8443821. Registered Nurse, job number 8443813. For more information on these or other positions, visit frcmedianews.org or call the Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. Unemployment figures have dropped almost 3 percentage points from a year ago here in Fall River. According to the State Department of Labor, the workforce in Fall River's unemployment rate was 9.5% in January of 2016 as compared to 4.9% in December of 2016. In addition, the city's labor force numbers increased from about 37,000 workers in December of 2015 to nearly 40,000 in December of 2016. While over 1,000 people were hired to work full-time at Amazon's fulfillment center in the city's industrial park, Fall River Career Center Director Joe Viana says these numbers have not yet been reflected in the state figures. As for small businesses' health, Viana says mom and pop stores are doing quite well.
At least I can only talk about what we see here at the Career Center, so that's as far as I can feel comfortable talking, but we're seeing a lot of opportunities in a variety of jobs. I mean, I just have a list of here. We have security positions. We have Millstone Medical that has opportunities. We have welding opportunities. We have accounting, customer service, machine operators, quality inspectors, CNCs, CNAs, machine operators, forklift operators. The same thing with our which is, I think, is a good, Homeland Builders is also hiring here for carpenters, cabinet makers, draftsmen. So the list is extensive, it's varied, it requires different types of skill sets. And our job is just to make sure that you can connect with these companies. So not only is Amazon a great story for the big part of it, it's also a good story, I think, because of the economy, the way the economy is turning around, that is prevalent throughout every single types of sectors in our local economy.
Mother Nature has been kind to the greater Fall River area with so far not too much snowfall to show for the winter. Still, the director of the city's Department of Community Maintenance, John Perry, says his crews are set to clear any snow that does come our way. FRC Media News' Donna Mata spoke with Mr. Perry recently.
Do the city workers plow the snow, or do you hire contractors?
Well, we do both. There is a small contingent of city plows that we use. We also lean on the other departments. Wastewater has some equipment. Water department has some equipment. They take care of the watershed area for us. And Parks department, cemeteries department as well. So we have a contingent of city blades and salters that go out. But we do have to fill a lot of the gap with private contractors.
And how do you hire them, actually?
Well, they sign up every year. There's a contract that they have to sign with the city, explains everything to them as far as payment-wise, rules and regulations, and they sign up every year. We accept as many as we can to ensure that if we have a blizzard condition or a state of emergency, we have enough to lean on. And then from there, we do our best to rotate that list so that everybody gets a chance to work. So obviously we have our stand-ins that are with us most of the time with the bigger equipment, but for the smaller plows, we try to make sure everybody gets a piece of the pie.
We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
I'd like you to meet Snooky. She lives here at Forever Paws. She's actually been returned. She had been out of the house for 2 years. She left as a 2-year-old. Now she's 4 years old. I think she's been a very misunderstood cat in that when she was in her new home, they didn't allow her to be a cat. She wasn't allowed to be on the bed. She wasn't allowed to be on the couch. She wasn't allowed to be anywhere and was constantly being brushed away. One thing you have to understand with orange female cats is they are very, very confident and they know what they want. It's almost like having a calico in your home. She needs a home where they will let her be a cat. So if you're interested, come and see her at Forever Paws.
So this is corned beef. Corned beef is a 2-year-old pit mix right here. Very lively and spirited little guy, as you can tell. He will need a little bit of training, but he's a very good dog. He's actually a transfer from us, from up in Brockton. Nobody was interested up down there, so we're trying to find someone who's going to be interested down here. He's a very good boy, but like I said, he just needs a little bit of training. You can see he's a little bit all over the place. He still kind of jumps up. Some of that is the energy in a kennel situation, but I'm sure some of it will still persist at home. But if you're interested in a good dog who just needs a little bit of training, he's a good bet for you.
On the state level this week, Senator Mike Roderick says the legislature is working hard to develop rules and regulations regarding the newly implemented law that allows for the purchase of marijuana for recreational purposes.
We in the legislature will be looking at the statutory components of the law. In other words, what's actually written in statute that the voters passed. Things such as the tax rate. We know that the law created a 3.75% excise tax on top of the 6.25% sales tax, means a 10% effective tax rate. We know that in Colorado, that's 32%. We know in Washington State, that's 40%. So 10 versus 30 and 40. We know that they're struggling in Colorado and Washington, just raising enough money to administer and regulate the product. So as it's written now, it's a money loser. We're going to be taking money away from Bristol Community College, from our K through 12 education, from our public safety, from everything else we spend money on in order to implement the marijuana law. That's not sustainable, so we have to fix that.
That'll do it for this edition of FRC Media News. You can catch FRC Media News Thursday and Friday at 6 p.m. and online 24/7 at frcmedianews.org. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great week. Go Pats. We'll see you next Thursday.